May 15th is National Lymphatic Malformation Awareness Day, but many people don't know what that is. It is a condition that can cause facial deformity, like an enlarged tongue or cheeks or jaw. And one local teen who has it wants to educate as many people as possible about it.
It's also a personal story for our own weekend anchor, Connie Philman. Local 5's Eric Richards shares the story of McKay Campbell, an incredible teen who just looks a little different.
14-year-old McKay Campbell is a talented, smart, and outgoing daughter, friend, and student who to the world looks different.
My condition is called lymphatic malformation, or LM for short, and it's basically the cells in my lymph nodes and around there has mass produced.
The condition causes overgrowth and swelling in the tongue, jaw, and cheeks.
It's incredibly rare condition. So the more awareness, the more funding may go to someday finding a cure. Right now there's no cause, no cure.
David Campbell and WFRV Local 5's Connie Philman are McKay's parents.
We had been trying for a long time, and we'd had some struggles along the way, as many people do. And I was an older mom, and so when we found out we were pregnant with her, it was a miracle. I was thrilled. I couldn't wait to start my family.
Philman, 39 at the time, had what is considered a high-risk pregnancy.
We were going to a specialist as it was, and because of the difficulties we had, I was so careful with my pregnancy, with my health, with everything. I wanted to make sure that nothing went wrong.
At 20 weeks, the doctor noticed something wrong and ordered additional testing.
And that's when they discovered she had something going on here that they thought was probably just going to be a cosmetic thing.
It wasn't just cosmetic. The condition could cause a blockage of McKay's airway, which could have been fatal.
And so we were able to partially deliver McKay, just her head and her torso, leaving her still attached to her mom's placenta through her umbilical cord. We were able to do an evaluation of her airway to make sure that she would be safe before we finally cut the cord, so to speak. And so we secured her breathing passage before she was completely born.
A trach tube was inserted into her neck, connecting directly to her lungs. Usually, people who have a trach are not able to speak. Not McKay, though, who has beaten the odds not only by speaking, but singing as well. With lymphatic malformation, why is the option to have plastic surgery not on the table when there are so many technological advances that we've seen over the last few years that include an entire face transplant?
The lymphatic malformation goes through her entire face and into her tongue and into her voice box. So really to remove it all, as opposed to a tumor that is a small discrete tumor where you can just go in and take out that part, it would mean removing removing just about everything. Therein lies the problem.
McKay's dad, David, did something he does not recommend to anyone, turning to the internet for medical advice.
I guess I was feeling like anyone would feel. It was a little scary, and I did the same thing, a lot of internet research trying to sort out what it was. I guess it's a condition that I had never heard of before.
McKay has a close circle of friends who are inspired by her.
I think McKay just serves as a really good inspiration to me. She's very strong, passionate about what she loves, and she's just a good friend, to be honest.
A lifelong friendship starting in the 6th grade at lunch.
I didn't really notice anything different. She's the same as everyone else. She just looks a little different.
That unique appearance is one of the reasons McKay would not change if she could.
I just want people to know that I'm the same. I look different, but I act the same. I'm a normal 14-year-old teenager, and speaking as part of the disabled community as a whole, I think that's something that a lot of the disabled community would say.
Not allowing her disability to define her, McKay hopes everyone will judge less and educate themselves more.
A lot of people are a lot nicer when they're educated because they know what's going on.
In Green Bay, Eric Richards, Local 5 News.
McKay is currently undergoing genetic testing as part of a case study which could help determine the cause of LM and how to treat it. To learn more information about lymphatic malformation, just go to our website, wearegreenbay.com.